Hi guys, welcome to my next Tez Talks. Today I decided to do Tez Talks on meditation, as it's something that I've been really trying to practice more and more in my everyday life. For me, I got introduced to meditation about 18 months ago, and it was a concept that I had obviously heard about, and I, for whatever reason, would always make up excuses as to why I was too busy to meditate. And I thought that the idea of meditation was about having to constantly have your mind clear. And I thought, I have such ADD, there's no way I'm going to be able to clear my mind. And I would try, and more often than not, I would get frustrated because thoughts would come into my mind, and then I'd realize I wasn't actually clearing my mind and I wasn't really in turn meditating, so then I just gave up on the whole concept. And it wasn't until I spoke with someone who's been meditating for a really long time that I realized that the idea of meditation is not actually to pass judgment on yourself when you cannot clear your mind, but just to be aware and notice your thoughts that come in and out and let them move through without getting out of this state of total self-acceptance. And it's I use meditation now to just be observant of the thoughts that come through rather than judge them or get disappointed that I am having thoughts. And it's about returning to a place that feels comfortable and relaxed and right for you. And for me, I do that by really focusing on a bright light. And lately I've been using clouds to keep my mind really pure and free from any negative thoughts, and it's been working beautifully for me. So I imagine this beautiful bright light coming through the top of my head and filling my entire body full of light. And then I picture the sounds of the ocean, and I literally hear the sounds of the ocean in my mind. And I picture clouds flying by, and it's a really beautiful place to return to whenever I have thoughts of what am I going to do next, what am I going to cook for dinner, what sorts of things do I have on my agenda. I always return back to that place, and just the form of just like the art of the return is actually meditating. So once I learned that, I became less resistant to the idea of putting it into practice. And for me, it's really important because meditation helps me connect with my true self and who I really am, and I get closer to everything about myself. I know what I want and the person I want to be. I feel as though when I meditate more, I can cultivate more compassion and love towards all beings, and it's a really beautiful, calming place to live your life in this zone of being accepting and free from judgment. And it's hard to constantly do that, but with meditation I think it really helps to put that practice in, and then you go out and you live your everyday life and it's just kind of there with you, and you just approaching all sorts of situations that may arise from a more calming and gentle and loving place. And later in the Tez Talks, I'm actually going to run through a meditation that I do with you guys. And I also wanted to tell you about my affirmations that I do every now and then. I need to do it more often, but once or twice a week I'll do some affirmations. And I want to get to the place where I'm just habitually doing this. At the moment, I'll feel a wave of stress come up, and then I will go through my affirmations, and it really helps to alleviate the stress. And that's also what meditation does. So I have some affirmations that I'll read out to you later. But meditation, 4 main reasons that I do them. First of all, it's the knowledge of self that I was talking about. And for me, it helps me to stop concentrating on these little things that I get bothered by in my everyday life, that I think we all get really bothered by. And it helps me to let go of that and see it as a much bigger picture and as this spiritual journey that I'm going on in my life. And then better health is one as well. Studies have actually proven that meditation does alleviate stress. And of course, we all know that stress is really detrimental. It's such an epidemic in our society right now. And a lot of it, as I've talked about in other Tez Talks, it's self-imposed stress. It's creating situations for ourselves that end up bringing up all this anxiety and negative feelings, and it just doesn't feel good, and then we get run down, and then our system is depleted of energy, which means that we're much more susceptible to getting sick, and that's really awful. And it's so easy because we can really help ourselves physically as well as mentally by just taking some time out of each day to meditate. And then I've also noticed that meditation helps with my concentration. I feel that I can really concentrate on tasks and also concentrate on being the person that I want to be when I go out there and talk to people and I'm in social situations and I'm living my life. Meditation really serves that. Alright, so I think I'll start by doing the meditation if you guys want to do it with me. I've written it down here. So what I do is I find like a beautiful calming place and I sit down. It could be in your bedroom, it could be by a window with the sun shining on you, just somewhere where you feel really comfortable. Get a blanket or some pillows and just sit yourself down. I like to cross my legs and I put on some music. I'll put on my little background music that I usually play. This is by a band called Lost Sill, and it's really beautiful and simple and very calming. I actually fall asleep to this music sometimes. Okay, so this sort of meditation is called a loving kindness meditation, and it's pretty simple. You just give yourself love, show yourself kindness. It's not about going through and trying to fix problems or overanalyze anything. It's just purely sending yourself light and love and feeling good, because when you feel like that, this is what you project out into the universe.